Hello folks, thanks for stopping by to check out my online video banking tutorial. Today's topic is overdrafts. What happens when you overdraw your account, why does it happen, and how do you protect yourself? First of all, a couple of disclaimers. Everything I'm about to tell you is at best grossly oversimplified and probably just half of it's going to be downright wrong, but hopefully it'll give you the spirit of what's going on inside the bank's brain. So, first of all, what exactly is an overdraft? It means that, well, essentially it means that you've spent more money out of your checking account or your savings account than the bank says you have available. Well, it seems pretty simple, but the concept of how much money you have in your account is a little bit more complicated than it would seem. There's three different balances that you have to keep track of. There's the balance that you think you have in your checking account, which is the balance that you write in your register. You know, every time you make a purchase or you buy something or you write a check, you make a deposit, you write that in your little transaction register, you subtract it out, you add it in. That's one kind of a balance. And then the bank keeps its own records based on what the bank actually sees. Like, obviously, if you write a check out by hand, the bank doesn't know about that until it shows up at the bank, which could be days later. So the bank only knows about what the actual money that you've put into your account and actual money that you've taken out or another bank has taken out. And then there's kind of a cross between those two balances called your available balance. And your available balance doesn't actually have anything to do with reality. It's just more of a bank policy. For example, if you make a deposit through an ATM machine, maybe you make a $500 deposit, the bank will give you, say, $200 immediately available out of that. According to your register, you put in $500. According to the bank hasn't even opened the envelope. You just put it into a machine. So as far as the bank is concerned, none of that money has shown up yet. So they make a compromise to keep their customers happy, and they say, well, we'll give you $200 added onto your available balance. So you overdraw your account when you take out more, or you authorize another bank to take out more than you actually have available. A couple other things you should know. Banks are stuck back in the Stone Age. Stuff doesn't happen immediately. Stuff isn't instantaneous. Everything is broken up into business days. So if you make a deposit or if you make a withdrawal, it's the day you do it, for the time being, it just kind of shows up as like a temporary placeholder in the bank's records. It doesn't actually post into your account until that evening. Let me see here. Oh yeah, very important. Most banks take all the transactions for the day and they take all those little temporary placeholders and they reorder them in the following manner. They take all of your deposits, all of your credits for the day, and they post those first. And then they take all of the withdrawals and they post those second, all for the same business day. And the withdrawals are ordered starting with the largest and then going down to the smallest. Now, what does that mean? Why is that important? Let me give you an example. Suppose you have $100 in your account, and you go shopping. You buy something for $10. You buy something for $15. You buy something for $20, and then you buy something for $200. Well, your first purchase, $10. You just got enough to cover that, right? $15, yeah, $20. So you've got a total of $40. What's that? 40, 5, 10, 20. 25, $35, $45, yeah. You got a total of $45 in purchases, So your $100 ought to be enough to cover that. So you should just you've got one overdraft due to that big $200 charge, right? Wrong, because those all happen on the same business day. The bank is going to take those and reorder them from largest to smallest. So the bank is actually going to post the $200 debit first, and then it's going to post the 3 smaller ones. So you're actually going to get hit with 4 overdraft charges. And overdraft charges are expensive, typically around $30. And 4 of them is going to cost you $120 in bank fees, which is pretty expensive. So that's kind of how it works. Why do banks do that? Well, according to the bank says that your largest expenses are probably the most important ones, and you want to make sure that those get paid while you still have money. If you ask certain consumer advocacy groups, they're going to say, well, the bank's obviously posting the largest ones first to wipe out all the money into your account so they can hit you with all those bank fees. Yeah, I can kind of see what they're saying there, but in reality, what happens if somebody gets hit with 5 or 10 of these $30 fees, the customer is just going to come in and just have a fit, and probably, the bank might, maybe the bank manager will refund some of those or something, and then, I don't know, the customer's still not going to be happy, but probably the customer is just going to wind up not banking with us, or, the account will get charged off, or all kinds of bad things are going to happen. So I don't think the bank is really gaining anything by reordering those transactions in that way. How can you overdraw your account? A couple of different ways. I gotta hurry up here because I've only got 10 minutes. But it's a lot easier than you might think. It's not just carelessness. Let me give you a couple of examples. Suppose you deposit a check which has got a problem. Maybe your signature doesn't match the bank's records. Maybe the person who gave it to you forgot to sign it. Maybe there's a problem with the way the number is written, or whatever. The bank just finds something and just decides that this bank is not going to get paid. Well, when you deposit the check, maybe nobody catches it. Maybe you put it in through the ATM or something. According to the bank's funds availability policy, the bank is going to make those funds available to you, and you can spend that money. But once the bank catches the problem, which they will when all the paperwork gets approved, they're going to subtract the money back out of your account, and they're going to mail that check back to you and say, hey, dummy, sign this check, or whatever the case may be. Another thing that causes a lot of problems is gasoline. Buying gasoline, usually when you buy gas, what they do is they put a $1 hold on your account just to make sure that your card is good, that your account's open and whatnot. But the amount of the purchase doesn't actually post until a day or two later. So if you buy gas and then you forgot you bought gas and you just check your available balance, it's going to show that you still got money in there. But then, whoa, surprise! The next day, there's going to be a $40 difference between what you think is supposed to be there and what's actually there. How do you protect yourself? You can protect yourself with overdraft protection, which most banks are glad to offer for a small fee. Link your account up to another account, another source of funds, maybe a line of credit. There might be a small fee for transferring the money from your savings account into your checking account, but it's not going to be as much as those multiple $30 fees. Carrying bigger balances is helpful. Carrying bigger balances gives you a nice cushion, so you're probably not going to overdraw your account. But then you've got a lot of money sitting there and probably not earning a high interest rate, and it's not really working for you. Helps to know the bank's rules. So check the literature that the bank gave you when you opened up your account on their policies. Avoid buying gas, and lastly, maybe if you can't figure it out, maybe just stick to cash. There is such a thing as a reloadable debit card, like a gift card. That might be the way to go. You can use it like a check card, but the money doesn't actually ever go negative.